My name's James Cumming and I'm the principal of Reservoir East Primary School. When I first started here, we had 5 First Nation students, and one of the things that we were able to do as a bit of a trial was to employ an Aboriginal staff member to be a liaison with community. Presently, we've just got about 100 First Nation students and close to 10 First Nation staff members. And we actively try to recruit staff that reflect our community.
Reservoir East saw a need. We are in the Northern Corridor, and the high population of Koori kids that live in this side of town, they wanted to provide a culturally safe space, and that sort of filtered down from the top to the bottom.
I think the first thing that we did that enabled people to feel this could be a school of choice was that we hired staff that were First Nations. I don't think you can underestimate the effect that has on a community where they actually have a reference point to go to and feel safe. As the school has developed more and more, and that we have more staff, that's not necessarily needed for some families. So some families will come to the assistant principal or myself or the classroom teacher about issues, and some will go to our Koori educators or our ES staff or check in with a familiar face. In essence, representation, and it doesn't matter whether it's First Nation representation, like it can be a whole gamut of different things. If representation's in the school, people feel connected and feel safer. We don't necessarily look for funding to do the extra. What we do is we repurpose funding and look for ways to use it creatively. We started this journey with employing a community liaison, and that was because we had $17,000 at the time left in the budget, and we decided to do it for the second half of the year for a part-time person to work on staff. But it's about looking for hires that reflect your community as well, and we look for First Nation staff. It can be difficult, but it can be done. People are out there and they do want to get a start.
James has been very supportive in helping us get enrolled into Deakin University to start our primary education degrees next year. Yeah.
The Koori Grapevine, everyone hears that that's a good school, so everybody comes here, which is pretty cool. My kids included come to this school as well. My daughter didn't come to this school in grade prep, and I felt like she was sort of lost. So I brought her here because all her cousins were here, and you put a kid in a culturally safe environment and you just watch them blossom.
If you're a student and you walk into my room, you'll see First Nations things like everywhere. And embedding Aboriginal perspectives into our curriculum, so throughout the day, and it doesn't have to be something big, like we do big celebrations around NAIDOC and things like that, but also just everyday things, like if we are reading a book and it's not an Aboriginal book, we will look at where it's published, whose country is it on.
Every class goes through a process where they write their own acknowledgement at the start of the year, and they do that every day. We have good representation in our library. We do shared reads with our kids every day with Indigenous authors.
We get Indigenous organisations to come in and run programs with our students on health services and all the things that they can reach out to and what's probably the right things and maybe not the so right things to do in life. And yeah, they all get excited about when there's Indigenous dance group or something coming into the school. They're all pretty keen, yeah.
We have our First Nations meetings with just Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff where we feel comfortable to just lay out anything that we might feel uncomfortable with or anything we want changed, and we're together and we can kind of work through that together as First Nations people, and then we can go to our bosses and principals and be like, this is what we would like to see. And we have a lot of PDs around cultural safety, not just for us but for all staff as well. Something that we're going to be doing is an induction specifically to our school around cultural safety, embedding Aboriginal perspectives as well.
It's not every day people understand where some of our students come from and the background and what they go through behind the scenes, and I think that's what's very good about our school is we understand these students, and we've got a fair few First Nation staff members who really try articulate this to our other staff that we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, and just to be a bit understanding, because it is different growing up as a First Nations person and you do have your battles going on at home, but to come to school every day and to learn is very positive.
We see cultural competency as a yearly professional learning. This year we actually tapped into the core learning by IATSIS, who have 8 modules of training that are available online. It's a self-paced professional learning, and then we gather as a staff once every 3 weeks and we go through one of those modules, and we have a good yarn about what we can do as a school to implement some of the learning that we've done from that. We invested into having spike training, which is a program that was originally designed for principals, for the whole staff. So 50 staff went away and spent 3 days, but we invested, a large sum of money in being able to do that.
Every day I come in, I feel super comfortable and culturally safe and really proud of who I am and where I come from, and the kids that I teach, I see that in them too, especially our First Nations kids, and I love the community that we have here.
Everyone at this school, the non-Indigenous kids as well, they all call us Auntie, which is so special.
First Nations families should have the right to choose what school they go to based on cultural safety. And for some people, their local school may not be providing that. And I think that there should be some self-determination in school choice. I know that that's not where we're at the moment, but certainly families should be able to choose a culturally safe school for them and their kids. Every school is not a culturally safe school, but every school has the potential to be. And it's about creating the will within our system to do that.